A lot of people ask me how to achieve mental toughness. And it's not something that is as simple as just saying I'm going to be mentally tough. It's actually something that you have to practice. It's actually something that you have to get better at and sort of get through. So when we overcome adversity, we become mentally tougher. So I'm going to give you 4 examples of how we can practice it. And some of them you're not going to like. Unfortunately, sometimes and nowadays especially, we have so many different commodities and luxuries per se, which is great, but sometimes it makes us weaker, unfortunately. So sometimes we kind of have to put ourselves in those difficult situations and force ourselves to get through those challenges and be mentally tougher. So I'm going to give you 4 examples of how we can practice it and overcome them. The first example is to play against an opponent who is weaker. So many times I hear, oh, I don't want to play against that player. I'm so much better. And then I go to play with that player and I lose. And I pretend that I'm tanking. I pretend that I'm not trying because, I'm just better than them. But I'm not quite proving it. Maybe I am. Maybe I have a lot of qualities that are better. Maybe I hit the ball better, forehand, backhand. Maybe the player cannot even keep up with me in rallies. Yet when I go to the match and play, I am not able to beat them. I'm not able to show my superiority in the match. And that is all part of, the mental toughness. That is all, the nerves that play a role. Maybe they are not as good as grand strokes and rallying, but maybe they compete and maybe they're mentally tougher than you. So can you prove to them and to yourself especially that you can beat this player? If you're really that superior, you can beat them 6-0, 6-1, 6-2. Can you really do that? And can you do that over and over so that you don't have to play with this player again? So that is a really good way to become mentally tougher and to get really good at competing well. On that same example, you can also play against a player who you really don't like. There's many times where maybe we are at our tennis academy or we are, practicing matches and we're like, oh God, I really hope I don't play against this person because I really don't like them. Or even in a tournament, we are like, I really hope I don't play against this girl or this guy. I really, really don't want to play this person. So force yourself, put yourself in the situation. Maybe write that person a text and be like, hey, you want to play a practice match? And see how you compete. Prove to yourself that you, even though, maybe, there are mental things that you have against this player, why you don't like them. It doesn't matter. You're going to go out there, you're going to compete, and you're going to be able to overcome the challenge of beating this player. Because that is the ultimate goal, to win matches, right? That is why we're doing this. That is why you're training from an early age. That is why we're trying so hard. We're trying to get results. We're trying to win matches, right? And so the only way to do that is to keep constantly testing and putting yourself in these challenging situations. The next example would be, and this is an interesting one, to get yourself on camera. So get somebody to go out there with their phone and record you playing a set, or even put your tripod out there and record yourself playing a set. Usually, every time I do this with my students, and I remember some of my students that needed to record some college videos for recruiting, and I would try to get them to, play a few good points, a few good games, and they could not get the ball in the court. Literally just double faults, not able to get a good point in at all. Because they're under pressure, right? We're on camera. We want to try our best. We want to maybe play even better than our capabilities, and we're not able to show that. So practicing while being recorded is also another good challenge, because we are having another thought in our heads like, oh, how am I looking on camera? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Just that extra pressure, that extra thought. It's another challenge to overcome that is very useful for us to practice. Usually my students, when there's a parent, maybe, oh, they want to maybe record a couple shots, the kid is like, no, don't record me. They start missing everything. They start playing bad. Why? Can we just, block that out and keep our focus? Can we maintain our focus while we're being recorded? Or is that too distracting for us? We can't handle it. So that is another great way to practice mental toughness. The third example, if maybe you can't really do the first two, or another great way to practice mental toughness is if you have a player who you just practice matches and always with that person, and you're way too used to playing with that person, and maybe there's not that applied pressure anymore, and you usually beat them, practice maybe playing a set from 0-3 down and see if you can beat them. Or maybe every game you start down love 15 or love 30, depending on how good the opponent is, and see if you can beat them. It's really hard to actually play from love 15 down, because you maybe miss a return. It's already love 30. Maybe you play a point and you lost the other point and you played well, but you missed it by 1 inch and you already love 40 down. So it's very challenging. You have to focus on every point. You have to make the best of every point. And that is a great way to practice focus as well as mental toughness. And the last example that I'm going to give you right now is play for a prize. If you practice all of the above, you keep overcoming your challenges and you're doing really well, then also add maybe play for something with somebody. You maybe, hey, whoever wins today buys dinner or an ice cream. Something like that is also helpful to practice under pressure, because you really don't want to pay for this person's dinner. Some people even play for money or not. I mean, that is not we're not trying to bet money here and lose money, but it's an encouragement. Or maybe play for if you lose, there's a punishment. That is also a good one. Whoever loses has to run for 20 minutes on the treadmill. That is a good one. I used to do that and I did not like to lose. So that is another great way to practice under pressure. Again, all of these are examples that are not hard to do. They're maybe examples that we're not comfortable with, because I get this a lot, and people don't like to play against players who are weaker. They don't like to play against players who they don't like. Parents don't like, kids don't like it, and the only thing they're doing is hurting themselves, because we have to put ourselves in those difficult, challenging situations over and over and over, because when we go to the tournament, we're going to see difficult after difficult after difficult situation. We're going to be even more under pressure, and we're not going to be able to perform if we are not mentally tough. So make sure you practice these examples, and if you like this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe.